earth. This is their reward, their khiz. They're being put down in the dunya, and in the hereafter, they're going to have a serious, grievous penalty. So I explained in the book, Kitabul Kaba'ir, to Al-Imam al-Dhahabi, the book of major sins. And why did we choose this book? We chose it for a number of reasons. It's a book that talks about the Aqidah that the Muslims need to understand. It's a book that talks about the knowledge of Hadith. It's a book that talks about telling the Muslims how to be good citizens and to stay away from major sins, like murdering people, major sins like drinking khamr, major sins or intoxicants, like stealing, the major sin of revolting against the leader. It's a book that we're trying to teach the Muslims that's practical in our lives right here in this country. Al-Muhim, the Shahid, the point that I want to make concerning this is that in that class we made it perfectly clear, crystal clear, that it is up to the Imam to do what Allah said. He can either kill the murderer or he can crucify him. And I never mentioned anything about a cross. Isa ibn Maryam, our prophet, our Nabi of Al-Islam, who we believe in, who Prophet Muhammad told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ Isa ibn Maryam فَبَلِّغُوهُ سَلَامِ. If Isa ibn Maryam comes, give him my salam. So we're waiting. If he's here, if we're here when he comes, we're going to tell him our prophet, our Nabi gave you salam. He's our Nabi. Al-Muhim, Isa ibn Maryam is going to come and break the cross. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw something in the shape of a cross in his house, he used to break it. Now why is the Imam going to crucify someone on a cross? That in itself goes to show these people are adding words and concepts into people's statements. So the Imam has the right to do this or that or this. Those four things is left up to the Imam. And another thing I want to mention to you and anyone else who's listening, and those people know this very well, anytime I speak or I have spoken about the establishment of the hudud, the chopping off of the hands, killing people, anytime, I've always made it clear that executions and other than that, capital punishment, is only for the Imam in the Islamic State. It's not permissible. It's not permissible. As an Imam al-Hasan al-Basri said, it is for the Imam to establish the hudud. It is for the Imam to go after the one who is the criminal. It's not for you and I to go out as vigilantes to take the law into our own hand to look for those people who are the criminals. So I never said that. It's for the Imam of the Islamic State.
Okay, thank you. It has also been reported that you said we should throw homosexuals off a mountain. Does that mean you're encouraging the murder of homosexuals?
First of all, I was on a program here in the UK called, comes on in this Sunday morning, Heaven and Earth. And they wanted to know, what does Al-Islam say about the Muslim homosexual? I said to them, as I say now and as I said in my major sins class, Kitab al-Kaba'ir, from the major sins, homosexuality. Homosexuality is an abomination against Allah Almighty. And it is an abomination against mankind. One of the famous leaders of Al-Islam, he said, had it not been for the fact that Allah mentioned what the people of Lut, the people of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah, what they did in the Quran, if it wasn't for those ayahs being in the Quran, he said, I wouldn't have never believed that a man would want to be with another man. It's not something that's natural. That's what I believe and that's what I stand on. As it relates to the homosexual, we said to the people in that program that's beamed out all across the UK, that if a Muslim man or woman happens to be a homosexual, then this is a major sin. But they're under the Mashiach of Allah. They're under Allah's decision. If Allah wants to punish them, He will. If He doesn't, He's up to Him. A Muslim will be forgiven for all of his sins with the exception of dying, being a polytheist, making shirk with Allah. So I've never said anything like that. In my major sins class, I explained to the people, and you could go back, and this is in the Kitab al-Kaba'ir. One of the Tabi'een asks the illustrious scholar and companion, Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu, what should be the way in which the homosexual is killed? How should he be killed? Abdullah ibn Abbas made ijtihad. He said, there were no homosexuals during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so there was no had. There was nothing that he did to show us how he should be killed, stoned to death or anything. He said, but what I understand is, Rasulullah told us that Jibril, an angel, was sent to the people of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah. That angel took his wing, put it in the land, and took their land and turned it upside down and squashed them, pulverized them, decimated them. In the morning, they were all gone. Abdullah bin Abbas said, since the earth was taken up and it was smashed upon them, I believe you should throw them off of a high place like a mountain. That's the ijtihad of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. That's not the statement of Abu Usamah. Al-Imam al-Dhahabi brought that statement in his book, and I explained. That's his ijtihad. But people don't throw homosexuals off of the building. Never ever did I say kill the homosexuals. I believe that homosexuals are committing a major sin, but they live in this country, and it's not for you, it's not for me, it's not for anyone else to take the law into their own hands to kill them or to do anything other than that. If someone asks me, marry two homosexuals, I'm going to say I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But will I smack a homosexual? Would I prevent him from his rights in terms of what doesn't go against my religion? No, that's not what I call to.
Okay, thank you. You also said that jihad was part of Islam. There is a huge lack of knowledge of what jihad means. Can you explain?
Yes, jihad is a part of al-Islam, and it's not permissible for any Muslim to reject al-jihad. But it is an institution that needs knowledge. It needs knowledge. We're living in a time which is the end of time. And one of the signs of the end of time is the fact that knowledge will be taken away from the people. Knowledge of the basics of the religion, like the Aqidah. Who Allah is, where Allah isn't, where Allah is, what does Allah do, what does He not do. So there are simple basic issues of wudu, tahara, and salat that people don't know. Everyday issues that they don't know. The average Muslim